Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. It is Saturday. I am your host, Scott. Welcome to Coping with Life. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, listening. Know that you are loved, and if you're not doing well, please talk to somebody. You matter. And so, this is going to be just a little ramble, and most likely going to be titled Friendship. So, yesterday I was doing what I usually do. I was recording a few other podcasts that I do. And, yet, Coping with Life is one of my favorite podcasts because it is mine. It is something that I basically do everything for, and I am very proud of what I've been able to accomplish. Well, so I was making my notes for one of the other podcasts that I do, and one person that is close to me reached out and really needed somebody to talk to. I stopped what I was doing. I messaged my co-host saying, hey, I need to take a few hours, and they're like, okay, cool. And I was there for this person. He was going through a tough time. And being, 1,000 miles away, I just listened. And just being me. Just being there for somebody. And I'm a great listener. And just, they did what they needed to do to calm down. And when one of his friends, one of his greater friends, was available, I messaged her to tell her what was up. And just, was there. And I was very proud. Because about 4 a.m, my time, I got a message saying, hey, thank you very much, and you were right. And I don't know why, but I usually smile or grin when somebody says, you're actually correct. You were right. It's like, wow, okay. I usually am, because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear unless that happens to be the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not afraid. Sometimes I am. But eventually I come around and depending, that's, I'm glad that I could be there for this person who knows that I am available almost 24/7. I really don't matter who it is. If somebody needs to talk, I usually will lend an ear. And so they were talking, and it's good to find people that you trust, that, you can be honest, be in a vulnerable situation. I don't got that many friends. The people that I do, they're lifers. There's people that I've had good times and bad times with. And a lot of things that are just, a thing. And every person that I know, they know that I'm not, currently in my life right this moment, I am currently not mentally well. I really haven't been for a while. Trying my best to get better. But knowing that, I'm not mentally well, I am struggling with depression and, dealing with life, coping with life, finding things to deal with and improve, trying helping other people. And, I'm very passionate in what I do. And, sometimes it is pulling teeth for me to do other projects that I really enjoy. But knowing myself, and the stuff that I've accomplished, I'm going to be honest, some of the other podcasts that I do, we have to both record because with the way that my mind works and just my demeanor, even though my work ethic is on point, but we have to both record most of our episodes because I may not be available or wanting to speak or just, and, they're okay with that because they knew that going in. And one of the reasons why they asked me was because they knew that I was very reliable when I said, yeah, I can do that this week. If I say that I'm going to do something, I do it. And we did eventually record all of the episodes yesterday. So amazing. And I crashed after one of the last episodes because, yeah, it was pretty cool. And I record a lot of stuff. I have many projects that I get to work on. And yet I will favor people that are close to me, people in my circle, even though, I may not be high on their, hey, I want to talk to this person. But when they go, Scotty's up, I'll talk to him, and I'm okay with that. To me, I think that's fascinating. And, when it gets to the point where I'll listen and I'll give honest feedback and be real, and especially if you're not feeling well, if you're sick, and you're not thinking clearly, it's like, I will help. I can, and also, if you're sick, don't Google it. That's the worst thing that you want to do is Google your symptoms. But, I laugh at some things because I do find humor in weird places because I want to make people happy, even if I'm not in a happy place. And one of the things that I like about friendships is if you're in my life, if you're, associated with me, don't feel like you can't reach out. And I have a policy where I will eventually get back to you. Now, there are a few people who text me, they will immediately get a text back from me. Unless if I'm hiding under my rock and, I don't want to speak to anybody. Then nobody gets to hear from me. But, I try and respond to everybody eventually. But, I am human, and sometimes I want to relax or do a few things. And, do my hobbies, go for walks, or just play video games, or work on some of my projects. Just being me. And it's hard because every day is different for me. And I'm still trying to figure out things, and, not everything works out the way that I would like it to. Trial and error. But one of the things that I have found that I really enjoy is just being there for people. Especially, the person who messaged me. And I was immediately there. And it just happened to be, a horrible time for them. And I understood that. But I'm like, when I got the notification and, we were voice chatting and I immediately knew, what was up, and about a couple of hours in, they took rest. They had somebody who was coming down to take care of them, which I think that is fascinating. And then when his friend got on, I let her know what was up. And I was talking to her for a little bit. And then I left. And then I dealt with, my other podcast. And this coping with life, this is something that I'm passionate about. I don't talk about the other podcast much, but it is stuff that I do. Because, I like doing this podcast, and, I like to keep things a little separated, and I'm very intelligent, and I'm like, for me, I'm invested in my own podcast, and I'm like, hey, it's Saturday, and it's a new episode of Coping with Life, which you happen to be listening to, and I thank each and every one of you. And I'm trying to learn, and, I'm not perfect. And honestly, I don't know what you who's listening to this, what you want to hear from me, because I go some weeks I want to go with, trying to help inform everybody or let everybody know, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my general ramble of, and I'm so proud of myself for being able to make sure that I do get an episode up every Saturday. Noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And there was, this morning, a few hours ago, somebody reached out to me and was talking to me, was really impressed about some of the Lego builds that I've been sharing. And they were asking me what I was up to. And while I'm making notes for my podcast that needs to be up in a few hours. And I'm like, you know what? Talk to me after you're done. I know you would want to talk to me now, and I think that's very cool, because this person I don't really talk to much. And yesterday happens to be a good friend of mine's husband's birthday. And so I was joining their stream and was talking to them while they were playing Kingdom Hearts. I do believe that's what the game they were playing. And hanging out with them, talking to them. And, I haven't seen them in possibly 4 years, maybe 5. And, that's okay. But we still contact. And, for somebody who claims to not really have friends, I have a lot of people that I consider friends and acquaintances and people that, I trust and I care about. Not a lot of people that I can, be open to with who I am. Because it's very weird for somebody to see somebody as emotional and very open and very frank when it comes to things. And some days are good, some days are bad. And I do shut down a lot when it comes to people close to my inner circle, where I just go, nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. Nothing is wrong. Everything's fine. And one of the people, she goes, I'm not going to buy that. Eventually, 90% of the time I do not come around, but 10% I'll go, okay, I think I can be honest. But, friendships, friendships are weird. Because, it's hit or miss for me. I have trust issues. I do. I 100% admit that I have trust issues. Because drama and a lot of other things that come, is hard. And, betrayal and a lot of things that goes with it. And, sometimes drama happens and, it's hard to explain. And I find it funny that I'm talking about this, even though the notes that I was making was totally going to be a different episode. But my brain then is like, we're going to be talking about friendships and other things and rambling and whatever it may be. I don't know if I'm going to ramble. May sound like I'm rambling right now, and words are hard. Anyway, with friendships, I don't really care who you are. If you have a good personality, most likely I'm going to strike up a conversation. But if you have an ulterior motive or trying to use me or abuse me, need not apply. And even though I'm honest, sometimes, I can just smile, nod, keep my mouth shut. But this morning, I'm actually doing well. I'm feeling good, knowing that, just being there for people and, it being a great day. I don't know why. I don't know what is going to happen today. But for some reason, I think it's going to be a good day. It might actually be a good weekend. I don't know. Time will tell. But I have that normally. Days I can tell today's going to be a rough one. Now, today may turn out that way. But maybe a good day, and I'm hoping for that. Therefore, I want to ask, what kind of friend are you? What kind of person are you? Because when you think about it, everybody is different. Everybody, not everybody can get along, and the things that I may do as my everyday habits may just be a pet peeve for somebody else. And, they're done with that. But sometimes, sometimes people mesh really, really well. And so, what kind of friend are you? Or what do you prioritize? Because, everybody knows that I'm available. Everybody knows that they can reach out to me. I may not get back to them in timely fashion, but I try to be there for people. Or just talking but at the same time, I do at times feel like I'm a bad friend, that I'm a bad person. Not personality-wise, not habit-wise, not there, but when I get depressed, I shut down. I stop talking to people. And, I'm not around. I'm not accessible. When I get into I go hide away, nobody is able to find me, reach me. I drop off the face of the planet. And there's a lot of times where I do think that I'm a bad person for that behavior. And my communication skills are not the best. I try to be. I try to, trying to be honest. But, as life moves on, I have to get better. And I'm not a mind reader. I don't do mind games. I don't. I'm very basic black and white kind of person. Not really complicated. Even though some people in my circle said that I'm very complicated. I just can't see it. I can't see it, apparently. But, I'm somebody who wants to make everybody happy. Thread the friendship, and the people that I call friends, majority of them have an interesting story tacked onto it, and I just find it hilarious. It's like, how did you meet this person? Well, funny you should ask that. And, I'll give you an example. There is a person who I consider a friend. You know, I met them during a, I don't know how you would preface this. I don't know. Basically, I met them in a video game. It was a multiplayer online game. And I was just running around. And it just was jumping off houses. And just happened to talk to them, and good people. And just I'm not afraid to talk to people or socialize, especially in video games where you can socialize. Just don't bring up Star Wars: The Old Republic online. Some things should never be said in general chat. But I am one of those people who are in multiplayer games with a chat box, and I will have a conversation. I've met people on World of Warcraft, Diablo, and there's, Final Fantasy 14, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and the list too is infinite. Thank you. And I'm very proud of just the people that I've been able to talk to. For somebody who's disabled, mentally ill, and hard to talk to people, you put me in a screen enabled that I can type. I'm going to be try and use words and type, because in real life, I'm not the best to socialize with unless, you get to know me very well. But when it comes to me typing or talking online, I'm definitely somebody who will type and I will have a conversation. And, if it's... I've talked to people in dungeons, and, they're like, may say, oh, I'm having a problem. I'm usually the first person to whisper. It's like, what's going on? And either they block me or whatever it may be. But normally they're like, oh. And so sometimes they just need guidance or just somebody to vent to. Or, catfish or whatever it may be. Not sure whose personality or what their meaning is. Maybe they want attention. But, I'm somebody who always wants to help people. And that's one of the reasons why I love this podcast. I'm trying very hard to keep this podcast going and going in the future to build a great community. And to me, each and every week episode, they all mean something to me because, they took time, they took effort, and I'm glad, and I'm so happy, and I want to continue doing this. And sometimes there's going to be episodes like this. Every episode is going to be different. It may be about nothing. Nothing. A podcast about nothing. Well, if you get the reference, you know. Anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you. I do, and I wish I could give each and every one of you a great big hug. So, far distance high five to everybody. And hugs, obviously. Anyway, but friendships and friends are awesome. And sometimes I take friends for granted. Not literally, but, you know, sometimes, you know, just being there for them is enough. And, you know, well-being, because sometimes I don't know that, you know, they need me, and, you know, I've referred to this before, but if this is your first episode, I have a group of people, and I am referred to as the glue. I'm the person that is keeping everyone, you know, together, always trying to find something random to talk about, or just, hey, let's play this game, or let's talk about this. Or just being me is like, stop putting yourself on mute. The silence, it hurt my ears. But, you know, it's just things to make people laugh, and, you know, it's the small things. Friends are awesome. Friends mean a lot to me. Especially my co-host of one of the co-hosts of the other podcast that I do. You know, that person is, you know, really amazing. He's a great friend of mine. And I want to thank every person of my friends, and, you know, the new people, and I consider everybody here a friend. And thank you. I thank each and every one of you. I do care about y'all, and I'm hoping each and every one of you are having a wonderful weekend and Saturday, even if you're listening to this on a Thursday. Thank you. Share with people. Share with your friends, family, you know, whatever it may be. Keep on spreading the love of this, getting my name out there, so I can definitely keep this going. But I want to thank each and every one of you. Keep your friends close, and it's okay if you don't talk to them always, even if they yell at you, and but you matter. Each and every one of you matter, and thank you, because I matter. Even if sometimes I don't feel like it. But with that said, I bid you adieu. This has been another episode of Coping with Life. Coping with Life. I am your host, Scott. Thank you for listening. Please share. It's been a great episode. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.